Hey guys, Austin here again. I got another video. Just like I said, I was going to be doing the, the Fidelio L1 and the AKG Q701. Today I'm going to be talking about the Fidelio L1, which I got shortly after I got the X1. It is a semi-open headphone. I feel it's a little bit more closed than open. That's not like the DT880 where it's like a half and half. This is more closed. As such, I think you get a little bit more sound reflection. We'll touch on that later though. The build quality of this thing is really nice. That's the first thing I really noticed. Just like with the X1, it has a genuine leather headband. A lot of the parts in here is aluminum. Like the cup is aluminum. The yoke and what's it called? The gimbal is aluminum. It has a nice braided cable, which is detachable. Now I'm probably going to replace this cable though down the road. Probably just going to pop the ear pads off and just hardwire one in there instead of having the detachable cable. But I'm unsure what I want to do with it. Cable's about, I think, 3 feet? 3 feet long. I find the cable okay. It's kind of stiff. Like, even though it has the nylon braiding, I think it's more like the rubber underneath that's stiff. Because I tried to unravel this thing. I hit it with a heat gun at really low heat. That's the only way I could get mine to stay flat. Otherwise it was like a zigzag when I took it out of the box. The cable seems like it's well made. I haven't yet measured the impedance of this to see if there's any, see if it's high or not. I would think it's probably lower, but I'm not entirely sure yet. The ear pads, I don't think it's real leather ear pads. It's like artificial leather, I think. Maybe it is real leather. I'm not sure. But it has memory foam and they're really soft. Really cushy, but I find that if you might have big ears, then our cups might be a little too small for you. For me, my ears fit in there okay, but I know for some people they might not fit right. So yeah, the cups are like that. Also, too, on the inside, it'll give you an adjustment, like a little window so you can see what number your adjustment is at for this. Speaking of that, it clicks into place really, really nice. You can hear it. This guy, I think he's a really good headphone. Let me move the camera a little bit. I think he's a really good headphone, but I don't quite think he's worth the price. Like, I spent like 120 bucks for him, and I think he's really, really good. Certainly better than a lot of the other ones I've heard in that range. What's one? Some of them are kind of buried here, but I have where is it? The Bear Dynamic Custom 1 Pro in here. I'm using the X1 cable on there. I think he's not better than the Bear, but he's pretty good. He's not better than my K601 either. But it's a nice headphone. It's a different headphone. I find it's a really good metal headphone. It has a little bit of peakiness, it seems like, in the upper mids. They seem to screech. The treble is rolled off at really up there. The treble's rolled off when you go up really high, from what I can hear. The bass is there. It seems like it gets a little muddy in really complex passages, but otherwise it's not that bad. I think the muddiness isn't that bad. The bass otherwise is still pretty controlled, depending on what you listen to. I think if you're listening to something that's been that's been produced to have a ton of bass, like some dubstep, you might have issues if they have a ton of bass in the song to begin with. Otherwise, I think it's good for adding bass to old music. I've been listening to a lot of the old Metallica CDs. What's the pressing? It's the Argentina pressings I have, and those ones are mastered from the analog tapes, I believe, or it's the vinyl. And what they did is that's when CDs were brand new, so they tried to tune up. It seems like they tuned up the treble and turned down the bass a little bit to make it sound like it was a lot more detail in there. But I find, because this one has a smoother treble, it kind of tames that on the disc. Also because it has more bass, it makes it sound more natural, closer to what the vinyl is. But I didn't touch on. I touched on the mids briefly about the peakiness. Like, I don't know. Like with my X1, the mids are really smooth. There's nothing there. But with these ones, they kind of have like, the grotto edge to the mids to me. I don't know. It's kind of weird. They're kind of edgy. And it's not in a bad way either. It's just different. I was expecting it to sound kind of like an X1, maybe. Maybe that's my fault for expecting that. It doesn't really sound like an X1. Well, maybe a little bit. It kind of has the same character. But the mids themselves they're fairly well detailed. Treble's pretty detailed, although a little rolled off. Treble is really smooth though, and there is some smoothness to the mids. Just like the upper mids are peaky, and the bass doesn't really bleed into the mid range or anything from like the mid bass. I don't get any bleed unless you go to like the really heavy music I was talking about. Soundstage wise, it's pretty small. I'm trying to think what you could compare it to. Since it's bigger than a Grotto. There's nothing really, I think, that has a similar soundstage to it. Because this is quite small. While, if you're to compare, like, the X1, that thing is, like, it's massive. It's bigger than a DT880 soundstage. And I know, I'm going to address that now. I know in the previous video I said it was like a DT880 soundstage. After further listening, I think it's more of like a K701 soundstage, but I think it's a better soundstage. It's more depth to it, and not quite as wide or distant sounding. I'm straying now too far. But, I think it's a good headphone. It really depends on what you pay for it. Like I said, I spent like $120 for it. And I'm not really all convinced if it was worth the $120. So yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about this headphone now. I've been using it to go to work. Where is it? I usually use it on my Zune. It is compatible with the PS4 if you use the mic cable that comes with. And that cable's not on hand now, but you can plug it into like a PS4 controller because the pinout on the cable is correct. It works with that. And I've been using it with that a little bit. But otherwise it's just been strictly with my Zune and my V200 over there. Otherwise, I think if you could get like for around like $100, it'd be really good. But right now, I don't know. I may be a little biased here on this one. But I'd say this: take what I say with a grain of salt. Trust your own ears on what you want to. On this headphone, you may like it more than me. I certainly think it's a really good one. Just not quite what I was expecting. That's it for what I was going to talk about with this guy. In the next video, though, I will be talking about the Q701. I'm going to start doing accessory reviews too. I was thinking I'm going to do the V-Moda, the Boom Pro mic. That one's going to be in another upcoming video. So, yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. You know, rate, comment, subscribe. You can see me on HeadFi, ZombieX. Follow my Facebook. Yeah. See you next time, guys. Adios.